Okay, good morning. Let's start with the lesson. Today we'll continue with database concepts that we started yesterday. I'll move on to the screen. So we discussed about what is database and what are the basic concepts and why do we need such kind of software, such kind of database, right? So DBMS or database management system is one type of software tool which help us to create such databases, right? And we have these are the names of some of the databases like SS is there, Oracle is there, MySQL is there, Microsoft SQL Server is there, Sybase, DB2, FoxPro. These are some of the examples, right? These examples are important. You must know these names. They are asked in exams also. And we just touch this part also, that what are the advantages of using databases or DBMS softwares. First of all, it reduces the data redundancy. Redundancy means duplicacy. As I told you last time also, that uh, in normal if we create a normal file like Excel or so where we can store data, there may be a chance that one entry can be made two times, right? So, but in case of databases, this cannot happen because we create one column as a primary key there. So we can apply a primary key is a column where duplicate entries cannot be entered, right? So we can set one primary key so that the duplicate entries cannot be made, right? Like for example, the roll number can be, yeah, admission number can be set as primary key. So we know that every student has a different admission number. So in case a entry is wrongly made again, the software will give you a message that this is duplicate, right? So it will not allow you to enter the name number again. So that help us to reduce the data redundancy, right? Then inconsistency means mismatching copies of the same data. Like we took an example yesterday that let's say in a school, one record is maintained by accounts department, one record is maintained by some class teachers, and some record is also maintained by the school main office, right? But if there is a change in some entries of some particular student, like there's a change of address, let's say, and the change is reflected by the class teacher and it is not reflected by the accounts department, so that mismatch of data happens in a normal day-to-day routine, right? But if we use the databases, then this will not happen because these tables must be attached or linked with each other, and if there is a change at one place, the change will go to other places also automatically, right? So your data inconsistency level is also reduced. Then we can share the data, as we talked about this yesterday also, that we can create one file, and that one file can be shared to all the departments, or even if the tables of different departments are different, even then some part of the table, some columns of the tables can be shared into some other table, right? So sharing can be done. Different users can have access to the same data. This is sharing, right? And then data security features are there. There's a specialized kind of professional called as database administrator, DBA. He's the one who is responsible for the security of the database, right? So security means एक तो बैकअप्स क्रिएट करना, इन केस सॉफ्टवेयर खराब हो जाता है तो बैकअप से हम लोग डेटा दोबारा ले सकते हैं, right? And then providing access to all different users which are using the database, right? Login IDs and passwords are to be created. So this is one kind of security feature which one DBA has to create, right? So DBA is the one who is managing all those things. So security system is there, right, for every database software. Then it helps us to maintain standards like uh, if we have created one marks column, and I want that in this column only the entry should be made from 0 to 100 only, not beyond that. So in case a user try to enter a number greater than 100 or lesser than 0, then it will give you error. So such standards we can put up anywhere in between. So there are ways of applying such standards, right? So this helps us to prevent the entry more than 100 and less than 0, right? Now, next is, if we talk about the definition of database is organized collection of data. Organized का मतलब है उसको एक तरीके में लगाना, right? Now, how this organization takes place? See, their data can be organized in two ways. One way is we use flat file system database, right? Flat file is one category where everything is stored in a single table, right? And then that shape table is shared to all the other users, right? But this is only suitable if you have less amount of data. But if you have large amount of data, then creating a single table will be difficult. And in that case, we follow relational kind of database, right? Now, it's in this database, it is a collection of data items organized as set of tables. Set of tables, there are many tables from which the data can be accessed, organized in a different way. So we can create multiple tables, and from the tables we can choose the values that you want to use, right? You can extract the values from two or more tables. So we can organize the tables in our way, whichever is required. So it is easy to create, easy to access, easy to modify. So relational database model is more common and more often used. Right? So new fields can be added without affecting the previous data, right? So new things can be added. So the tables that we create here in relational database model, we call these tables as relations. And then these tables, they are related or linked with each other, right? So that some common field can be created. So that's it. As you can see, this example is given. Um, so see, when the table becomes huge, the data is repetitive. It can be broken into different tables. Like here, we have a large amount of table, larger number of columns as compared to normal one. So we can divide this into two tables like this. Okay, class and teacher alag or student details alag. Okay, here we have everything in a single table. So if we talk about flat file system, when we follow this kind of table, and when we talk about relational table, we'll follow this. We create two tables, and then we can relate them with the help of certain common column, right? So this is done with the help of a software called as DBMS, or ऐसे softwares को हम RDBMS बोलते हैं, Relational Database Management System software, right? And the names of such softwares are MySQL Server, Oracle, MySQL, MariaDB, SQLite, MSSS, right? Now, what are servers here? Database servers. Database servers, they are dedicated servers. They are dedicated systems, computers, you can say, which provide services for the database in a client server environment. That means we have a network where many computers are connected with each other, and there is one centralized system which controls other systems, right? That centralized system is called as a server. And if that centralized system is giving services related to databases, then that centralized server is called as a database server, right? So it main thing done by this client database server is to um, provide information to client systems, जितने भी उसके साथ अटैच कंप्यूटर्स हैं उनको इंफॉर्मेशन प्रोवाइड करना. दूसरा, it also controls and manages the client systems, right? So controlling and managing of client systems is also done by database servers. Then we'll talk about certain terms, terminology, certain terms which are used in databases. The first one is table. A table is a collection of related data organized in rows and columns, right? For example, table given below is the table of different cricketers, right, and their records, right? So every table has rows and columns. These are rows. The horizontal one, the vertical one are called as columns, right? And the names of these vertical columns are called as fields. These are the name of the fields. Average is one field, HS is one, innings is one. These are different fields, and these are all records. All the rows are basically the records that we enter, right? These records or rows are also called as tuples, right? Um, like here in this table, we have 5 different records. Remember, this first line is the name of the field. They're the names of the fields different we are using. They are not part of record. So the first record starts from here in this line, right? This is first record, then second, third, fourth, and fifth. We have 5 records here, right? So these are file. How many fields we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 fields are there, right? These are the names of those fields, right? A field is also called as attribute. Like row is called as tuple, so field is also called as attribute, right? And every object or entity can have many attributes. So student can have date of birth, gender, class, address. So these different are attributes, and one student is the entity which uses these attributes, right? Then is the data item, which is the smallest element of the database. It is the value of the field in one record. एक फील्ड की एक रिकॉर्ड में जो वैल्यू है, जैसे रन्स की वैल्यू इस रिकॉर्ड में ये है 18,423 दिस इज द वैल्यू. फाइन. So all these are values basically, right? So this is also value, this is also value, all these are values. They're called as values. Then there's a concept called as primary key. This I just told you that sometimes, like we just have done the advantages, and advantage, the first advantage was that it reduces data redundancy. Redundancy means duplicacy of data. Now how this is done basically, so what we do is, in one table which is created, what we do, we create one column as a primary key. Now primary key is that particular column in which all the records are unique. Unique in the sense no repetition, right? So that's why we create one column as primary key. So this help us to identify each record, right? So we can make out, we can find out which record is available. So if you want to search certain record, if you want to search certain data, so if the fields are similar, then it will be difficult for us to search. तो प्राइमरी की हेल्प से हम लोग सर्च कर सकते हैं, बिकॉज एवरी प्राइमरी की कॉलम हैज यूनिक वैल्यूज, right? So primary key is a special column or combination of columns in a table that can be uniquely identify all the table, which uniquely identify all table records, right? So all the records can be identified uniquely with the help of a column, a special column, which is called as a primary key. And sometimes this a primary key can be like in some tables, like if you have a table where name is there, father's name is there, and marks is there, so we have 3 columns here, but the problem is that we cannot name can be similar. Two students can have same name. father's name can also be similar, marks can also be similar. So in such case, we cannot set any one column as primary key. So what we do is we combine two columns and then we combinedly set them as primary key. So it can be, so combination of columns can also be used as primary key, right? And every primary key field has two important things, that it can never be empty. You cannot leave blank. So in that column, whichever is set as primary key, null value cannot come. Null value का मतलब होता है खाली नहीं छोड़ सकते. You have to enter at least one value, right? And secondly, it should be unique also. So there are two things: uniqueness, and it should never be empty. So this primary key is used to arrange and organize the data in a table. Like in this table, table 4, which was given above. Here, if you see, PID is the most prominent one which can be made a primary key. See, player's name can be similar in some cases. Like here, we don't have similar names, but it can have. Country can be similar. Runs can also go similar. Matches can be similar. Innings can be similar. Highest score can be common. Average can be common. But PID will be different in all cases. So we can set PID as primary key over here, right? In some cases, uh, like in this table, if you see player's name, right, it's rarely the player's name will be similar. Very rare chance. If you talk about this table only, we have only 5 records, and if you see, the names are different and PID is also different, right? Although runs and also these values are also different. So what we can do is we have to identify how many columns have different values, right? So every column which has unique value are called as candidate keys. So candidate keys are the columns which can be made primary, right? जिनको primary बना सकते हैं. So player name in this case has all unique values. PIDs has all unique values. So this is candidate key here. This is also candidate key here. Out of these candidate keys, we can set one primary key, right? So, so like in this two columns, PID, PName, both of them have unique values. Such unique columns are called as candidate keys, and candidate keys are eligible to be selected as primary key. So candidate keys are those columns which are eligible for becoming a primary key, जिनमें से हम किसी एक को primary key बना सकते हैं. So all such columns are called as candidate keys. Remember these terms are very important, and they are generally asked in exams. What is the difference between a candidate key and primary key? Right? So if you set, let's say if we put PID as primary, so the name which was left, the candidate keys which is not primary key are called as alternate keys, right? So this concept must be clear. And composite key, when, like I told you that in some cases we feel that there's no suitable column which can be made primary, so we can use combination of two or more fields, right? So whenever we're using combination of one or more fields or attributes, such combinations are called as composite key. They are not called as primary, right? दो या दो से ज़्यादा कॉलम्स को एक साथ अगर हम प्राइमरी बनाने की कोशिश करें, सो सच कॉलम्स आर कॉल्ड एज कंपोजिट कीज. जिनको प्राइमरी नहीं बोलते, काम वो प्राइमरी वाला करते हैं, बट दे आर नॉट कॉल्ड प्राइमरी की, दे आर कॉल्ड एज कंपोजिट कीज, राइट? Like here in this table, supplier ID and item ID both can be used, and if we use both as primary, so we can set a composite key here, right? So we can combine two columns to create one composite key. So that's all about introduction part of the chapter. Now we'll move on to the software that we are going to use. In our syllabus, we have two softwares. One is Microsoft Access, and then second one is your MySQL software, right? So Microsoft Access is used to, it's a software tool used for designing and developing a database application. So we can create a database with the help of Access, right? And advantage is that MSSS is it's a GUI kind of software where everything is available in the form of graphics. So you people just have to choose the options from the different options available. Then you can create a database. Whereas if we talk about MySQL, in MySQL, there is no graphics, there is no use of mouse. You just have to type certain commands to create a database or to use them, right? तो ये दोनों में फ़र्क है कि माई एम एस 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 में ग्राफिकल चीज़ें हैं और माई सिक्वल में ग्राफिकल नहीं है, वहाँ पे आपको कमांड्स टाइप करनी पड़ेंगी, राइट? सो लेट्स डू दिस एम एस एस एस. So like all MSSS interfaces, we have a file tab like MS Word, MS PowerPoint, MS Excel. We have a file tab on the top where all the options are there. And how do we start? We know it how to start it. Go to Start menu, then click on All Programs, and then select Microsoft Office and the version of Office. And then you can move on to the name of the software. You just click on Microsoft Access 2010, and then the software will open up. Now this is the home screen, and you can see uh, if you talk about components of the MSSS window, on the top we have the title bar, we have minimize, maximize, and close button here. This part is a ribbon, as we have done in Excel and Word, and this area is called as navigation pane, and these are the tabbed pane where the tables that you have created are shown, right? And this is a view button over here with the help of which we can change the view. And on the bottom also we there's a bar called as status bar which help us to show the status of the page that we are handling, right? So this is the basic interface. First of all, we'll try to learn how to customize ribbon. On the top, we have this ribbon where all tabs are there, but we can customize them. We can change the settings over here. So how to customize that? For that, go to File tab, click on Options, right? So this will open us up access optional dialog box, and from the various options you can customize the ribbon. So when you click on option, this is the thing which comes up. यहाँ पे customize ribbon एक tab है, उस पे click करो तो this will show you what all different tabs you already have. जहाँ पे tick लगा है जो selected है, these are the tabs which are already there available in your screen, right? And if you want to add, you just choose the option from here, click on add, right, after selecting the tab. So that particular option will be, command will be added into that particular tab, right? And if you want to remove, again there's an option here to remove. This button is there. You select the command that the option that you want to remove, you just click on remove, that will be removed, right? So likewise we can customize the ribbon part, right? Then how do we minimize and maximize the ribbon? This we all have done in Word also. The keyboard shortcut to do this is Control plus F1, or if you see on the top of every window, you'll find this small arrow this side. When you click on this arrow, this ribbon will be minimized, and when you click it again, it will be maximized again. So when you click minimization means this ribbon part, this whole ribbon part will be hidden, and you click it again and it will be shown again. right? Or you can press uh, Control and F1 to minimize the ribbon, right? Quick access toolbar is the toolbar which is available near the title bar on the right side of it, right? This is the quick access toolbar here, right? Where the frequently used options are lying, and you can use them as whenever you want to, or you can add more amount of options also. So how do we add more options here? You'll find small arrow kind of thing here. Just click on this small arrow. It will bring you, it will open up a drop down list. Now out of the list, you just have to select the like this. You can see here. So these are the different options which are already there. Save is there, undo is there, redo is there. If you want to add up any of these options, you can just tick on that, select that. That option will also appear here. Or if you want some more kind of commands, so that for that you go to more commands button. So you'll get a list of all the commands which are available. So just choose the one that you want to add, right? So that shortcut will be added over here. File tab is on the top, that we have already discussed, and it is also called as backstage view. It is always on the extreme top left corner, right? And it contains different options of opening, saving, printing, and other information, right? So we know that's file tab. Then navigation pane is on the left side of the window. This we have just seen above in the above figure, and it helps us to search for the name, rename, search for, rename, open, and delete the objects, right? You'll get the list of all the objects in the navigation pane here, right? So we'll have the name of the table that we have created, and if you want to remove or rename or delete, so we can delete it from here, right? And then we have a small button kind of thing here which can hide this navigation pane, right? So if you click it, this navigation pane will be, it will hide, right? It will not be visible then. So you can also use this button to minimize and maximize. If you click on this lower button, so the table names will not be visible. When you click it again, the table names that you have created here will be visible. These are double arrows given here, right? Now we'll talk about objects in SS. Before moving further, I think there's only 1 minute left, so we'll end up here. And just go through all these details. If you find difficulties, you can come up, you can talk to me anytime.